El Matador versus the best man ever. Ilia Topuria will fight Max Holloway, who will end up being the UFC's Featherweight champion in Abu Dhabi in this video. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Yo, assalamu alaikum, my niggas, what's good?
This is a fight I'm looking so forward to. I think this is such an anticipated fight that Bruce Buffer might even end up saying, this is the moment you've truly all been waiting for. If you know, you know. So Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. This is a fight that I thought about a lot prediction-wise. I really went back and forth a lot over the last couple of weeks or even months, considering who will win the fight and why. And the more I thought about it, the more I came to a pretty strong conclusion and pretty strong and confident pick even, which is crazy to have a confident pick in a fight like that, because both guys are so good in what they do and such a interesting stylistic matchup for each other. But let me talk about it a little bit. Max Holloway looked phenomenal in his last fight, right? Max Holloway looked like a world beater against Justin Gaethje, where he won the BMF belt. Phenomenal performance. His hands were landing. He got hit, but he made sure to not get hit by Justin Gaethje's best shots. His spinning, jumping back kick that he threw in the past as well, but never in such a high volume as it did in that fight, was landing over and over and over again on Gaethje. But that was a pretty specific thing that I wouldn't take too much or put too much weight on, because that is something that they specifically worked on for Gaethje to use that a lot, because Gaethje oftentimes dips his head a lot, and for that is very open for that kick to land either to the body or even to the head, as it did in round 2 or something where they broke Gaethje's nose, right? But don't put too much weight on that. Overall, the performance, don't put too much weight on that. And I hate to be the asshole here, but don't forget, this fight was at 155 pounds. And I'm not meaning to make a case that he's a different human being at 155 pounds than 145, but the weight cut at 145 puts a toll on Holloway. Holloway cuts a lot of weight for that. He looks very, very drained always when he makes 145. And you can just compare the Holloway against Gaethje at 155 to his last couple of performances at 45, right? Even though I would always suggest to rate a guy by his last performance, in this case, I would say, look at his last like 3-4 performances. And if you go there, it doesn't look as colorful, because let's be honest, when he fought the Korean Zombie, how good did he? Yeah, he finished him. Oh, yeah, he flatlined a 50-year-old Korean Zombie, yeah. But how good did he really look in there? I mean, Max Holloway got hurt on a couple of occasions there by the Korean Zombie, and he was really there to be hit. Also in the Arnold Allen fight, he was really there to be hit. Like, Arnold Allen does not get enough credit for how often he hit Holloway. Even in the Yair Rodriguez fight. I mean, Yair landed a lot of good shots on Holloway. Holloway's problem has been recently that he has been there to get hit. And the only reason why Holloway has been so successful at 145, or not the only reason, that's wrong to say, but one of the main reasons is why he has been so successful in the last couple of years at 145 is his chin. Because yeah, he's technically a great fighter. He has always great game plans, and his style is just, he's a real fighter, right? He may not always have the perfect, beautiful technique, but he always makes it work. But the problem is he gets hit so much. He gets hit so much, and people just rely on Holloway's chin. Don't forget, every chin has an expiration date. You can only take so many shots until your chin just can't take it no more. And Max Holloway has the record, and that's no record to be proud of the guy who absorbed the most significant punches, or significant strikes, better said, in UFC history. His chin took more shots, significant shots, than any UFC fighter ever in their UFC career. Let that go through your mind. And of course, is it possible that Holloway's chin holds up this fight and he comes out perfectly fine? Of course it's possible. I am not Mystic Mac who can predict when his chin goes. I can just tell you, this is a very bad fight to go in there with that statistic and your chin maybe not holding up that good anymore, because Ilia Topuria is a knockout machine. The power that Ilia Topuria possesses is insane. His boxing is just a poetry in motion. The way he breaks the distance by just beautifully evading your punches, using his footwork to come forward, boom, boom, body, head, like he mixed up the body and the head so beautifully. And it's just, if you watch Ilia Topuria striking and you don't fall in love with it, I don't know what you're watching, right? And the power he has, especially in his hooks. Look how he flatlined Volkanovski. No one ever did that at 145. Look at how he flatlined even Shea Herbert. It was at 155 if I'm not mistaken. Like, those people don't just get TKO'd. They are like sleeping and it looks like they're never gonna wake up again. The way he puts people to sleep is scary. The power he has is scary, bro. Scary. And that could be a problem for Max Holloway, in my opinion. Also, Max Holloway, even though he knocked out the Korean Zombie and knocked out Gaethje, he's not a knockout artist. Max Holloway is a volume puncher. Max Holloway wins fights by outstriking you over the course of 5 rounds. And against Ilia Topuria, that's not a style that you want to have, because you want to get Ilia Topuria out of there, because he will come forward for you as long as he needs to get you out of there. He will not stop coming forward. And it's pretty hard to just stop him by just using your range and whatever, because he's so good at evading strikes and breaking a distance, as I just said. And what Ilia Topuria also does very well, which is at the same time Max Holloway's weakness, I would say, in his defensive mechanisms that lost him a world title fight, or 2 world title fights probably, or maybe even 3, because he fought Volkanovski 3 times, even though the 3rd time Volkanovski's boxing did a lot of the work. The thing that Holloway always had problems with, that always gave him problems in every fight that an opponent really used it, and Ilia Topuria has that technique like no other guy. Of course, Volk is also on the same level, but Ilia, you saw it in the Volk fight, how much power he has in there and how great and smart he uses it, is the calf kicks. You do not want to get calf kicked by Ilia Topuria. Every time he hit Volkanovski with a calf kick, Volk nearly spun around, nearly fell down. And Holloway, with his small, tiny legs, there's not a lot of places where the swelling can go, and it will swell up pretty quick, and he's not the best, or he's not famous for blocking those calf kicks. So I think Ilia will, if he's smart, use those calf kicks early as well to chop Max Holloway's legs down and just chase Max Holloway down. And I'm sure Max Holloway will have success with his hands and will have success with whatever he uses, right? Max Holloway is no easy fight for anyone. That's why at the beginning I was also leaning towards Max Holloway when I first thought about this fight, but the more I thought about it, the more I was leaning towards Ilia Topuria. And what I also didn't like is in the pre-fight, in the interviews and stuff, Max seems to be a little bit out of character. He seems to be pretty mad. Like, when Ilia says things, he seems to take it personal, which is never something you want to see out of a guy. You never want to see someone fighting emotional. I don't say he will fight emotional. I just say he gets emotional over the things that Ilia says, and the chances that he will get emotional then in the fight because of all the things that are boiling inside of him that Ilia said, the chances are there that he then does stupid decisions. And one of those stupid decisions would be that Ilia Topuria also talked about. Ilia Topuria said in the first 10 seconds, I will go to the circle, point to the ground, and we can have a typical 10-second Max Holloway fest, right? And you might think, hey, that's good for Max Holloway. Max Holloway is famous for those exchanges. He kind of invented them and he knocked out Gaethje with it. Okay, let's analyze that. If Ilia really does it, and I do believe Ilia that he will do it, Ilia has no fear of anyone. If Ilia points to the floor, Max Holloway goes with him there. Just look at how Max Holloway does those exchanges against Ricardo Llamas and against Justin Gaethje. He goes in there and does this.
What the fuck is that?
He swings wildly with wild hooks, and if you do this, look how open you are. He's so open when he does that, and of course, if he connects, he has a lot of power behind the shots. You saw when he hit Gaethje, and Gaethje did everything wrong you can do wrong in that exchange. Ilia is a guy who, as I said, his boxing is poetry in motion. Ilia will never do that. Ilia will come in those 10 seconds. If you go there, he will have his hands up, his guard high, duck down a little bit like he does, and boom, 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 boom. Like, put a beautiful like 3, 4, 5 piece combination together where his arms are tied to his body, where he's not swinging wild. His arms are tied to his body, will go to the body, come with an uppercut, with a hook, whatever. Everything tight, fast, and he will land earlier than Max does. It's easy mathematics, right?
They can only count to 5.
So if that exchange really happens, of course, in a quick exchange like that, everything can happen. Max can knock Ilia out as well. But I do think there is a possibility, and I'm not joking, that Ilia could definitely knock down at least Max in the first 10 seconds if they really do that exchange. I think Max is in trouble if they do that exchange in the first 10 seconds. And I just do believe, in all the ways I envision the fight, I just see Ilia Topuria winning the fight. And I make a prediction now that will upset a lot of guys, and people will be, hey, what are you talking about? I am not too unconfident with the pick, with the way I think the fight will end. And I don't even like it because I love Max Holloway. If you know me, you know I love Max Holloway ever since I started watching MMA. The round is pretty hard to pick. I would just say round 2 just because the Volkan was round 2. I think Ilia Topuria will maybe drop Max in the first round. And in the second round, I have a feeling that Ilia Topuria will be the first guy to KO Max Holloway. I predict that Ilia Topuria knocks out Max Holloway in round number 2 and is still the UFC's featherweight champion. This is my official prediction, you guys, with complete unbiased behind it, right? Your prediction in the comments, you guys. Who do you think will win? How? Which round? Whatever. Write in the comments, you guys. Would love to hear your takes. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel. Would appreciate that. Check out the Bloodsport merch, my merch, bloodshop.net. Link is in the bio. Check it out. It's fire collections. We have worldwide free shipping with the code FREE. Check it out. Stay bloody, you guys. And until the next one, bye-bye. Bloodsport out.